You know what always makes a good day? When you come home to these. It's always good getting a new pair of Cujos. You guys saw my videos on them last year and know how much I love them and how much Billy loves them. This year Billy ordered the new boots, which won't release until the end of May, but I just wanted the same exact pair I had last year. The only reason I had to get a new pair is because I made a mistake last year of having my wife try to wash them and the padding slipped down inside them and wouldn't come back up. So then they just kept flopping off my feet. But Billy's, he grew out of his, and his still look almost brand new. At the end of the season, the tread pattern on mine were still there, and I would go through two pairs of Keens or two pairs of Merrills a season. I wore those Cujos for the entire season, and the tread on the bottom still practically looked brand new. And the sneaker was still intact. No stitching coming apart, no separation, no nothing. So had I not washed them and screwed them up, I'd still be wearing them again this year, and I have full confidence I could have got at least 2 seasons out of them. So since I couldn't, it was time for a new pair. Okay, so here we go. My yard definitely needed some attention. We've been running crazy doing all these other lawns, and any of you guys that own a lawn care business, you know the deal. You know what it's like. It's just like the shoes on a shoemaker's kid. Your lawn always gets taken care of last. So my yard was definitely a lot more overgrown than I wanted it to be. I always keep my yard cut down short for 2 reasons. One, it's less often, I guess you could say, that I have to cut it, which I really don't have the time, nor do I feel like doing it when I get home after mowing lawns all day. And 2, my yard is just one of them yards that look better when it's cut short. Now, I do have grasses that stay healthier the longer you leave them, but I don't fertilize my lawn. I don't put weed and feed on it. As you can see, all these dandelions here. I don't go crazy with my lawn. So, it's one of them yards that if I did leave it tall, it'd be all right, but and it would definitely be thicker and healthier. But like I said, I just like the way it looks better when it's really short. So you can see this is all grown up quite a bit here. You guys see I'm using the Edge Pro. I mostly use this on lawns. That's all the weeds, the piles of weeds my wife weeded out of this stone bed right here. But I use the Edge Pro pretty much mostly on my properties that I have a lot of flower beds. It just makes it easier and way faster for me to just do the weed whacking, flip it up on edge, and I can, as fast as I can walk, I can run an edge right around the mulch beds and stuff and keep them nice, cleaned up, and crisp. But you can see how overgrown all this is. I didn't bore you guys with the weed whacking of the whole backyard. I'd cut that part out, but I'm gonna hop on the walker here, and I like to bag my lawn because I can dump it right out back behind my house. I had to go over a little spot right there because some idiot that plows my driveway pushed snow up there and peeled up a little bit of the sod. I don't know who that could be, but I haven't mashed it back down yet, so it's just one of them things where it's got a little hump there, had to go around. But what I did is I dropped it down to 2.5, and I just went slow, took my time. I had nothing better to do. I spent the first part of today on the Toro Grandstand, the Toro Time Master 30, and the Walker B. I pulled the blades off all of them, sharpened them all up, and scraped all the decks and then washed all 3 of them. Plus, I pulled my trimmers out and pressure washed those off because they get all that grass nasty built up on them. Now they practically look new. But the last thing I had to do today is get my lawn done. So I got all that done, got everything put back in the trailer, and then I pulled out this MT here and decided it was time to just bag my lawn. So I dropped it down to 2.5, and that's what I'm cutting the lawn at. Now, I will tell you guys, as far as those mowers go, pulling the blades out, this is actually the first time I've sharpened the blades on the Toro Grandstand, and I have now mowed with that thing for 4 weeks straight. The first 2.5, 3 weeks, the grass wasn't really tall in most places. It's just been real cold temperatures, so it hasn't sprung up like it does in the spring. Just this past week is when it really started to shoot up, and I was cutting a lot of thicker grass. But I have been mowing a lot of wet grass and stuff like that. But the blades have just held an edge, and I attribute it all to that new RBG 712. That thing just puts that perfect 30-degree angle on, nice and clean, and it is just really, really held up. So here I am mowing the backyard. This whole area from where you see a little brown line over to the left there, that's the line my dog likes to run right out. And then this whole area between that line and the fence is his area. So this is where he poops, this is where he pees, and this was like 6-7 inches tall. It just grows so much more over there because, you know, he does me the wonderful favor of fertilizing it. And so what I did is I raised the deck up to 3 inches, and I went over it and bagged this whole part, and then I drop it back down to 2.5 inches, and then I go over the entire lawn at the 2.5 inches so that it's down at the same height as the front yard. So I just didn't want to take that 2.5 right off the bat. It's not good with walkers. You could clog them right up. But I'll tell you one thing is for sure. With taking all that height off of there and that thick wet grass and then dropping it down to 2.5 and mowing this entire backyard, plus mowing that entire front yard at 2.5. My front yard was probably 4 inches, maybe 5 inches in some spots, but a lot of dandelions as you saw. So I mowed the entire front and the entire back and did not fill up this hopper. That really blew my mind. I thought for sure that I was gonna cutting it down this short, which I show you guys in the end of the video exactly how full this hopper was. And it's just crazy, and it's because I still have these Versamo blades on there. So yes, I am running X blades on this Walker MT, and those Versamo blades just chop everything up so much smaller. And like I mentioned a couple videos ago, you know, I used them pretty much exclusively in the fall, and I could bag 10 times the amount of leaves in the fall without the hopper filling up, or before it would fill up, than I always could in past years. And I could mow over tons of sticks, and it never once clogged the chute up that goes up into the hopper. So it's really blown me away what these Versamo blades will do. Like I mentioned before, I think they're way, way overpriced, but they're just amazing for what they do. They're just an awesome product, and I wish I'd have tried them sooner. I just didn't want to spend the money. But knowing I was going to use this for fall cleanups last year, I figured, you know what, I might as well just spend the money, just do it, buy once, cry once kind of thing, and you know, see what happens. And so far, I mean, it worked out phenomenal, and I would never run this MT in the fall anymore without them, now that I see what they could do. But definitely mowing grass, I think they're pretty much going to stay on this deck. I'm not going to take them off. So this is just a little bit of a different view, and use the deck, push the picnic table out of the way to do what I got to do. I was just telling Billy the other day, because we have a bunch of yards with trampolines, and I have him mow, you know, a section to the side, then I pull the trampoline over, he mows that, then I pull the trampoline back. But I was telling him that years and years ago, when we used to mow for other companies I'd worked for, we used to use the Ferris zero turns and push up against the side of the trampoline and push them right across the yard, and then go back and when we were done mowing that part, and use the zero turn again and push them back. They were so much stronger back then. You wouldn't break them, the legs wouldn't fold under. Nowadays they're just made so chintzy that you'll snap those legs right off. So here you go, guys. I'm going to show you, pull the camera off the box here, and I'm going to show you exactly how much grass was in this hopper after, like I said, mowing that thick stuff in the front, the thick section in the back where my dog was, dropping it down, and then the rest. Look at that. Didn't even fill up, about halfway full. It's just amazing what those things will do. So dump it out there. I forgot to flip up the latch to hold the door open, so it fell down. And then I'm just going to push the forward control lever, let this thing roll forward a little bit so the rest falls out, and that's pretty much it. But thanks, guys, for watching. This is just what I did today on a Sunday. Nothing too entertaining, but I figured I'd do a little voiceover. I haven't done it in a while. Hit that subscribity bobbity button. Hit the like button, share the video, and feel free to leave a comment. We will see you guys tomorrow.